The Magic Paintbrush, Chapter 15. There are a lot of things that can go wrong with drawing your own airplane, especially when you've never flown one before and don't know anything about them. Amy's planes came out in miniature, little plastic toys that couldn't carry anything larger than a beetle. She tried again, and they came out proper-sized but broken. The jet had no engines. The helicopter rotors didn't spin. The cargo plane rolled right off the beach into the sea, sending up a giant spray of salt water. Amy's frustration grew with each failure. "You have to get it right," it barked. It slapped at her hands when it didn't like her lines, rapped her knuckles when she got her proportions wrong. "Look what happened the last time you messed up." Luna dozed at first. But soon curiosity got the better of him, and he explored the wonderland of flightless aircraft. They littered the sand like beached whales. "Don't worry," he said. "You'll get it." "Easy for you to say," Amy sighed. "It only took one try with the wings." "Well, what was different when you drew the wings?" "You sound like Diego." She leaned against her latest creation, a helicopter constructed of papier-mâché, and stared at the jade paintbrush. "I didn't do anything different. I imagined you, and thought about how long I'd been drawing you, and—" She frowned. "Then I felt something. A presence in my mind. We made your wings together, and when I opened my eyes to draw them, it had been so easy, as if she hadn't been piecing something together, but allowing something fully formed to flow onto the page. I think—" She felt silly voicing it aloud, but weirder things had already happened. "I think I felt the brush in my mind." "That's great," Luna said. "Do you feel it now?" Amy closed her eyes and searched for it. Nothing. She put her head in her hands. She was tired and hungry, and no closer to a functional aircraft than she'd been an hour ago. Luna nudged her fingers, and when she didn't respond, he did it again harder. The brush, still wet with paint, smeared against the waiting page. Amy looked down at the beige splotch. "Look," Luna said, pleased. "I started another plane for you." She couldn't help laughing. "I don't know if it counts as starting, Luna. It's just a blob. A vaguely cone-shaped blob. Though a few more strokes would transform it into a spiral sail." "The Skylands," she murmured. "The sky what?" "The Skylands. Diego and I. It's nothing. It's this ship we invented for our comic book when we were little. The thrilling adventures of Evangeline and Maximilian." Amy hadn't thought about it in forever. It had been exactly the sort of comic 2 8-year-olds would come up with. Evangeline, a dashing biologist in search of exciting new animal species, and Maximilian, an archaeologist who dabbled in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, explored the made-up world of Panagolia aboard their fantastical vessel, the Skylands. Amy and Diego had created an issue and a half before getting bored. But long after she stopped thinking about Evangeline and Maximilian, Amy had continued to draw the Skylands, refining its design. She'd spent hours sketching it in different settings, imagining herself soaring above the jungles, above jagged mountains, above an emerald sea. So it was easy, even after all this time, to deftly craft the spiraling sail, to tease out the walnut-shaped hull. Twin engines hugged each side, spitting clouds of steam. The details came to her as she drew, pulled from long-ago memories, and whenever she paused, reaching a blank in the design, something else moved her hand. The presence from before. She felt it warm in her mind, eager to create, to fill in anything Amy didn't specify. Was this why her other drawings had come out wrong? Had this presence worked against her? No, not against her. It didn't feel malevolent, just playful. Their finished creation was hardly realistic, but the Skylands had never been about realism. Amy painted its name last, in silver lettering. Then she sat back. The Skylant slid onto the beach like a dream. For a moment, Amy could only gape in wonder. Then she rushed forward, cheering, with Luna. She didn't even care if it flew. It was enough to see it come to life, to feel the smooth wooden planks beneath her fingers, to see the silver name glint in the sunlight. There wasn't much room inside. Once she and Luna boarded, they had space for one or two more, but that was all. Amy eyed the dashboard and the steering wheel. They were mostly as she'd imagined them, the controls more like an old-fashioned arcade game than a real cockpit, but there were more buttons and knobs than she'd expected. Who knew what they did? Could be anything. A smile curved her lips. What a thrilling thought. Look at this. Luna stuck his head out the Skylance's sunroof. It's perfect. Amy climbed into the captain's chair and wriggled her fingers over the dash. All right, here goes nothing.